All right, Shalom. First and foremost, I'd like to give all honor and glory and praise unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rachak, Kodash. Double honors to our apostles and elders of Great Millstone, to all the Agim out there teaching and preaching this truth with 144% sincerity, to the men, women, and children listening and learning, and to the Bayash Shatabadat, the house of David. I'm Ayash Shatab, with Men of Valor, Las Vegas camp, coming to you through the will and power of Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, right, with another lesson. With this series. All right, I believe the lines was along the lines of the lineage. All right, of the blessings. All right, which is the lineage is Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, and that righteous seed preserved from the beginning. All right, it has always been there, but it was preserved in the line of Shem. All right, so once again, I'd like to give all honor and glory and praise unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakak, Kadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, to all the Akim out there teaching and preaching this truth with 144% sincerity. All right, Lord willing, to be an edifying lesson. I believe this is going to be part 5 of the series. All right, and we are now at the point where Jacob, all right, has received the blessing. All right, and now the 12 tribes of Israel, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, and Seminole Indians, all right, are exiting. All right, you are exiting Egypt. Okay. And so the blessing, all right, is already bestowed upon you, from your forefathers. Okay, now we entered the covenant of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. All right, pursuing in the Exodus from the children of Israel. Okay, 2/3 of the nation of Israel will perish and die for not believing upon the testimony. All right, and those who don't believe upon the testimony are those same ones in the book of Exodus and in the book of Matthews. It said, let thy blood be upon thy children's children. All right, not believing in the testimony of Yahweh Shai, of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, not believing and lacking faith. All right, those same spirits that didn't enter the promised land. All right, who scoffed and who were scoffing and mocking in the wilderness. All right, as we were in the wilderness for 40 years. All right, it was those, all right, who have always caused an offense unto Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, but yet we are judged as a nation. Okay, because we all have wrongdoings, all right, in our nation. All right, so therefore, we're all held accountable. Okay, but without further ado, let's go ahead and get into this lesson. Okay, it's going to start in the book of Exodus, and it's going to start in chapter 12, and I'm going to start at verse 31, and it reads, and he called for Moses. All right, and who's that called for Moses? This is the Pharaoh that called for Moses. And continue to read, and it said, and he called for Moses and Aaron by night, and said, rise up and get ye out from amongst my people, both ye and the children of Israel, and go serve the power as ye have said. Okay, so this is Pharaoh, telling Salaki, this is Pharaoh telling the nation of Israel, go and serve your power, do what it is, that you need to do. All right, and continue on, Salaki, and continue on. Salaki, I put that in the wrong place. Let me start at, this is the book of Exodus chapter 12 and verse 1, and it reads, and Yahweh spake unto Moses and Aaron in the land of Egypt, saying, This month shall be unto you the beginning of months. It shall be the first month of the year to you. Speak ye unto the congregation of Israel, saying, in the 10th day of the month they shall take to thee every man a lamb according to the house of their fathers, and a lamb for an house. All right, so Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, this is the Passover. All right, this is the Passover where Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai is going to bring us out of Egypt. Okay, and you can read more in detail in this story about what the Passover the similitude of the Passover, Salakia. All right, And it goes on to say, I'm gonna start at verse 29. This is the book of Exodus, chapter 12, and verse 29, and reads, "And came to pass that midnight that Yahweh smote all the firstborn in the land of Egypt, from the firstborn of Pharaoh that sat in the throne unto the firstborn of the captives that was in the dungeons, and all the firstborn of cattle." All right, so here it is, Yahweh, all right, sent that spirit, all right, understanding that all the firstborn belong unto Yahweh, all right, Bashem Yahweh Shai, and he sent that spirit, all right, he sent Yahweh Shai, if you can receive it, to collect all those souls, all right, and he told Pharaoh, that you would lose your son this night. This is what Moses told him, all right, from the Exodus, okay. I'm going to drop down to 31 again, and it reads, "And he called unto Moses and Aaron at night, and said, Rise up and get ye forth from amongst my people, both you and the children of Israel, and go serve Yahweh as ye have said. Also take your flocks and your herds as ye have said, on and be gone, and bless me also." Slaki, and bless me also. And the Egyptians were urging upon the people that they might send them out of the land in haste, for they said, we be all dead men. Right, because Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai, all right, put that spirit and brought that those essentially miracles, all right, that bear testimony of Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai, but brought those plagues and that hail upon Egypt. Okay, continuing on, I'm going to jump down to verse 36, and it reads, "And Yahweh gave the people favor in the sight of the Egyptians, so that they lent unto them such things as they required, and they spoiled the Egyptians." Right. So the Egyptians gave their substance. Okay. The Egyptians gave their substance unto the children of Israel. All right. And why? Because Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai ordained it so. Let's go to the book of Genesis, chapter 15, and verse 12. And it reads, "Thus thou stretch out," it's lucky. This is Genesis chapter 15, and verse 12, and it reads, "Thou stretchest out thy right hand, the earth swallowed them. Thou in thy mercy hast laid forth the people which thou hast redeemed. Thou hast guided them in thy strength unto the holy habitation. The people shall hear and be afraid. Sorrow shall take hold of the inhabitants of Palestine." All right? Because Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai made them what? Slakia. Made the nation of Israel what? Amongst the heathen. Made Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai's Bashem Yahweh Shai's a law and his name to be feared. All right? That's why his name is dreadful amongst the heathen. All right? There is not a place in the world that Israel wasn't heard about, that the power of Israel wasn't heard about, first and foremost. All right? They call them Al-Ashadya, all right? Demon-like power. Okay, continuing on. And continuing on, the people shall hear and be afraid. Sorrow shall take hold of inhabitants of Palestine. The dukes of Edom shall be amazed. The mighty men of Moab tremble, shall take hold upon them. All the inhabitants of Canaan shall melt away. Fear and dread shall fall upon them by the greatness of thy arm. They shall be as still as a stone till the people pass over. O Yahweh, till the people pass over, which thou hast purchased. Right, because Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai showed his might, showed his mercy in the power that he had, all right, that he had shown the other nations for the care and the love that he had for the nation of Israel, all right, the deliverance, the hell that he had just delivered them out of, okay, and made it known to all. Verse 17, thou shalt bring them in and plant them in the mountain of the inhabitants in the place, O Yahweh, which thou hast made for thee, and dwell in thy sanctuary, O Lord, which thy hands have established. All right, Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai has established what? He has established his name in, all right, in Israel. All right, he has established his laws, statutes, and commandments in the nation of Israel. All right, he is bringing forth his nation out of bondage. Okay, continuing on, verse 18, and Yahweh shall reign forever and ever. For the horses of Pharaoh went in with his chariots and with his horsemen into the sea, and Yahweh brought again the water of the sea upon them. But the children of Israel went in dry land in the midst of the sea. Right, because what did Moses do? Hey, Moses parted the sea with the staff, all right, with Aaron's staff that Yahweh had given him, all right. Hey, he sent praises up to Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai, all right, and then that sea was parted, all right, the Red Sea. Okay, here it is. Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai has did miracles, works, and wonders in the sight of all these heathens. Okay, so Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai has a special, peculiar treasure and elect people unto himself, as he says in the book of Exodus, all right, chapter 19, all right, and he chose Israel for that glory, all right, that he chose to give Israel, right? Israel did not choose it for itself, but Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai chose Israel, all right, for the blessing and for the glory. Okay, let's go to Genesis. It's going to be chapter 12. And verse 3, and it reads, it's like it, Genesis chapter 12, verse 2. Slocky, give me 1 second. Genesis chapter 12, and let's start at verse 1, and it reads, Now Yahweh had said unto Abraham, Get thee out of thy country, and from thy kindred, and from thy father's house, unto the land that I will swear that I will show thee, and I will make of thee a great nation, and I will bless thee, and make thy name great, and thou shalt be blessed. And I will bless them that bless thee, and curse him that curse thee, and in thee shall families of the earth be blessed. So Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai has performed this through what? Through Shem, through Abraham, Shem, where the holy seed was preserved, came Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Okay, these are the ways of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai for the nation that he cares and the nation that he adores. Okay, this is going to be the book of Genesis. It's going to be chapter 15, and I'm going to start at verse 12, and it reads, and when the sun was gone down, a deep sleep fell upon Abraham, and lo, a horror of great darkness fell upon him. Right, a horror of great darkness. So here it is. Abraham had a nightmare. All right, a nightmare. And it's gonna continue to tell you a little bit more. Let me continue to read it. And he said unto Abraham, Know of a surety that thou seed shall be strangers in the land that in the land that is not theirs, and shall serve it shall serve them, and they shall afflict them 400 years. And also that nation whom they shall serve will I judge after shall they come out with great substance. And thou shalt go to thy father in peace. Thou shalt be buried in a good old age. But in the fourth generation, all right, so that generation right there, verses 13 through 15, all right, was fulfilled. Okay, that was our 430 years in captivity in Egypt. Okay, that's where we were delivered out of. Did we not just read that we were delivered with great substance in the land of Egypt? All right, in the land of Egypt, where Pharaoh had to let us go. All right, where he said, "Go and serve your God," and all the Egyptians, gave their raiment to the children of Israel. All right, which if you read further in the book of Deuteronomy, where we went, and went off, had Aaron made a molten image. Okay, it was with that substance that we left with. Okay, continuing on, verse 15. This is the book of Genesis, chapter 15, and verse 16. Sorry, and it reads, "But in the fourth generation they shall come hither again, for the iniquity of the Amorites is not yet fulfilled. And came to pass that when the sun went down and it was dark, behold, a smoking furnace and a burnt lamp that passed between those pieces. And the same day Yahweh made a covenant with Abram, saying, Unto thy seed have I given the land from the river of Egypt unto the great river, the river Euphrates. All right. Hey, and Yahweh Shem Shai said he would drive out all these. He said, continuing on, he says the Kerzerites, the Canaanites, the Canaanites, the Kizarites, and the Kadamites, and the Hittites, and the Perizzites, and the Hephite, Rahams, and the Rahams, and the Amorites, and the Canaanites, and the Gershites, and the Jebusites. Right? So Yahweh Shem Yahushai said these nations will be destroyed. All right? I will do away with those nations for your inheritance. So you will have the land of Egypt. All right? You will have from the land of Egypt all the way down to the Euphrates will be your inheritance. All right? For the nation of Israel. You so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, and Seminole Indians. All right? And you speckled birds whose father's line goes back. Okay? It is Yahweh Shem Yahushai who has a care and who has a love for you. Okay? Salakia. Let's go back to Genesis. It's going to be Genesis chapter 37. It's like a chapter, Exodus. Genesis is Exodus chapter 12 and 37, right? And this goes to prove the point, all right, how we left with great substance. This is Exodus chapter 12 and verse 37, and it reads, And the children of Israel journeyed from Rameses to Succoth, about 600,000 on foot, that were men besides children, and mixed multitude went up also with them, and the flocks and the herd, even very much cattle, and they baked unleavened cakes of the dough which they brought forth out of Egypt, for it was not leavened, because they were thrust out of Egypt, and could not tarry. Neither had they prepared for themselves any victuals. Now they sojourning of the children of Israel who dwell in Egypt was 430 years. All right, so there goes that captivity, that first captivity that all Israel suffered, 430 years under Pharaoh's rule. Okay, and it came to pass at the end of the 130 years, even the self same day, it came to pass that all the host of Yahweh went out from the land of Egypt. It's like it is at night to be much observed unto Yahweh for bringing them out from the land of Egypt. This is the night of Yahweh to be observed for all the children of the generations. All right. Hey, and Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai, continued and has continued to bless the nation of Israel, even through our chastisement, the fact that we are here, the fact that we are still spoken of, the fact that we are able to make it, make it in the low conditions that we are in, all right? Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai gave us much substance that we left when we left out of the land of Egypt, all right? And you can find that up in verse 35 and 36, all right? Exodus, let me just go ahead and read it for edification. This is the book of Exodus chapter 12, and this is going to be verse 35, and I'm going to read through 36 again, and it reads, the children of Israel did according to the words of Moses, and they borrowed of the Egyptians jewels and silvers and jewels of silver and jewels of gold and raiment. And Yahweh gave the people favor in the sight of the Egyptians, so that they lent unto them such things as they required, and they spoiled the Egyptians. All right, and that spoil right there, was to take that substance. All right, to have all that they had. All right, to put them in a low case. All right, financially and morally, their morale was down. All right, because here it is, Egypt is getting delivered by the power of Israel. Okay, continuing on is going to be the book of Exodus chapter 11 and verse 1 and 2, and it reads, so like Exodus 11 and verse 2 and 3, and it reads, speak now in the ear of the people, and let every man borrow his neighbor, and every woman of her neighbor jewels and silver and jewels of gold. And Yahweh gave the people favor in the sight of Egypt. Moreover, the man Moses was very great in the land of Egypt, in the sight of Pharaoh's servants, and in the sight of the people. All right, so here it is, Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai, completed that promise. All right, for that captivity. All right, that captivity was fulfilled. All right, but when we went in the wilderness and made molten images and disobeyed the law, statutes, and commandments, all right, and walked 40 years in the wilderness and everything, we had to answer for that. All right, Lord willing, this was an edifying lesson. I want to give all honor and glory and praise unto Yahweh B'Hashem, Yahweh Shai B'Hashem Chakodash. Double honors to our apostles and elders of Great Millstone, to all the Akim out there teaching and preaching this truth with 144% sincerity, to the men, women, and children listening and learning, and to the Bayah Shadabadah, the house of David. Till next time, I'm Ayah Shatab with Men of Valor, Las Vegas Camp, saying Shalom, Wad, Bal, Kwam Yasharala. Shalom.